Hi there, thanks for clicking the link and setting aside some time to join us this today, and while we share some thoughts with you on our devotionals, we really do appreciate that, and it may be that this time with us it'll be a great blessing for you and an encouragement for the week ahead. I want to just give a big shout out and say a big thank you to all those involved with social media and editing these videos and posting them online, all the praise and worship teams that are putting together and singing to empty rooms out there. And I think it's so important right now, but I think it's important for you to understand and know that I believe right now that the church is reaching more people than it's ever done in history. I watch podcasts and online live stream events in churches on a Sunday and through the week, from all the way from Fraserburgh to Peterhead, right down to our own church at Larbart and our home church here in Kilsyth as well. And I want to just say that the numbers are fantastic. I was listening to a church in America the other day, and they said that they were speaking to the equivalent of two of the biggest conference halls in America that held, I think, somewhere between 80 and 100,000 people. It's incredible the amount of people that's tuning in right now and watching church online all over the world. We're getting into more homes right now, I believe, than any time in history. And it's really, a lot of it is thanks to the people who are putting time aside to, as I said, do the social medias, do the posting, take time and doing the editing, both on a weekly, in some cases a daily basis. We really do give God thanks for your skills and for your talents, and thank you for offering them to the church, and may God bless you for it, and because God is using this in a mighty way all across not only Scotland but the UK and the world as a whole. We've been looking at Psalms 23. I just wanted to share the first three verses with you. Again, it is, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Fantastic statement. And again, He makes me lie down in green pastures, and He leads me beside quiet waters, and He restores my soul. I've been meditating on this psalm over the last few weeks, in fact since the shutdown or the lockdown, and it's really been a great blessing to me, and I've tried to impart what God has been putting in my life and giving you something of that as well, and I hope I've done it a little bit of justice. It's always my biggest fear is not to share something or to put together a lesson, so to speak, or a devotional, but it's actually to whether I can get across in the right manner what God has given me. And the line I want to sort of meditate on today is that He leads me beside quiet waters. I read something in a commentary a few days ago, and it said that apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, if you're from a farming background, you'll know better than me, that dogs will drink from any part of the river, but apparently sheep will only drink from quiet and still waters. I thought it was an interesting thought there. My parents love to holiday in Ballater. In fact, as a family, we'll all try and go every year and every second year and spend some time with them in Ballater. But they go every year, usually once or twice actually. And one of their favourite activities when they're staying in Ballater is actually to take a walk from the Craig and Darragh Hotel where they stay down into the village, but they go the route that takes them through the trees and past the golf course, where you've got the golf course on the left and the river on the right. And if you've ever been in Ballater, then I'm sure you'll know the area that I mean. And there's often benches there, and if you stop and sit on a bench and facing out into the river, you know, the river there is often quite turbulent. In fact, only a couple of years ago, there was a period of heavy rain and the river burst its banks and it really flooded the village, caused a lot of damage, swept away holiday homes. And I remember seeing big caravans being smashed against the bridge. And so it was quite a torment time, quite a wild time within the village, a beautiful village up there in Ballater. And but it's full of shallows and full of rocks, and the river's never really peaceful there. It's always crashing against stones and rushing over the shallows there. But it's a beautiful scene, a beautiful place to go and visit. And whilst I was meditating on this thought, He leads me beside quiet waters, I couldn't help but think of that part of the river and where I felt that we've all had times, I'm sure, in our lives where it just seems like it's a torrent. Life can be problematic. It can be just full of hassle, whether in our marriage or whether it's in our businesses, or whether it's in just in our relationships or universities or school, or there just seems to be problem after problem. There is no peace. Maybe you're from in a vulnerable category, whether it's through age or ill health, and you're stuck at home, and your mind is just turbulent. It's full of turmoil, and we're just challenged with it. Sometimes our turbulence is caused by decisions that we've made further upstreams. Maybe we made decisions in the past that we knew were wrong, but really we went against our gut instinct. We spoke to our friends and our parents, but we really ignored that advice. Maybe we've even discussed it with our spouses or spoken over with our pastors. But really, the truth be told, our mind was already made up anyway, and we went ahead with our decisions. We made our decisions maybe thinking it was on the right reasons. Sometimes it's a lure of money, more money. Perhaps it was chasing a big promotion that you've always wanted, and you get a chance to wear that badge and say you're the boss, or you've got this new role within your work or church maybe even. Sometimes it's the promise of more fun, with this group of friends rather than the right group of friends, and it just seems to be the wrong choice, but it was rather than the obvious choice. Sometimes in life we've had a desire to date the wrong person, but it gives us street cred, so we've said yes, or you've pursued that. With young folks nowadays, it can often be that post on Instagram or Facebook, because deep down we've had a desire to be liked or accepted, but we knew it would probably come back, and we opened the door to controversy and criticism. And it's something that we know we shouldn't have done, but we made that decision. We made the decisions, and sometimes I think it's only my decisions, and what about you? Like a river, sometimes the wrong decisions seem like good ideas, but they were not God ideas, which often has led us to turbulence and repentance in our life. Our decisions that other people have made have caused us that challenges, but again, without God in our lives, we are a wee bit like that river, often crashing against the huge stones and the rocks at the side or in the middle of the river. It's huge white waters, as we would say, unsettled. Sometimes we can't really hear God in our lives anymore because of the roar of the river of life over the shallows, over that trouble. It just means it's a constant noise, and we just don't hear God anymore in our lives. And I think that can often be a challenge, and sometimes our life is like a waterfall, just going over the edge, and we seem to be in constant free fall, and we just kind of really want it to stop. But when we learn to follow Jesus, when we trust in Him with our lives, we also learn to hear His voice, and I think it's hugely important. I was reading a short passage, or I was reminded of a passage actually. It's about Samuel. When God called Samuel originally, it took God 4 times before Samuel recognized God's voice. It might not happen overnight, but it comes with practice as we learn to read every day, to meditate with Him every day. And we find that regardless of what's going on in the outside world, whether it's job challenges or financial challenges, or perhaps challenges with the virus just now and health challenges, that despite all that going on right now, that we have an inner peace because God is leading us past quiet waters. We've got that opportunity to do that just now with the shutdown as well. To stop by the still waters and look over them, just to enjoy that peace that God has given us, despite what's going on. It is a beautiful thought. And my prayer would be that during this lockdown period, this period of change in our life, maybe you're still working, maybe you're tied at home with wee ones, or maybe you're older and you're isolating in your own, or you're in a vulnerable character, that you'll start learning to give more of our life over to Jesus, to live our lives as Jesus would want us to take our eyes off ourselves and onto other people. And I'm hoping to share with you very soon on how that can happen, how we can do that. But this morning, or today, I want to just say, I want you to learn to trust Him and to listen for His guiding voice. I know it'll take time, as it took Samuel 4 times. But like David, you'll be able to write that He leads me beside quiet waters. Do you trust Him? Do you really trust him this morning? Or are you shopping around for inspiration and for something to keep you going? Or can you really say wholehearted, you know what, Jesus? No, I give you my life. I trust you. No, he has more blessings in store for you right now than you can imagine. But you have to let him lead. You know, I pray that you will do that this morning. And when this time passes, when this lockdown comes to an end, you know, life will go back to normal. For some people, it may be a new normal, you know, because of loss or people with ill health, but life will go back. And I pray that through this, you'll come out this with a stronger faith, with a relationship with God that will take you to new levels and will become a great blessing in your lives. I pray this morning that you will have a blessed few days, and I look forward to sharing with you again very, very soon. And I pray that you will meditate like I have in Psalm 23, and you will realize that despite what's going on in life, that God will lead us through beside quiet waters. God bless. Take care. Have a wonderful week.